I was talking to Dex about this, and I was looking through my old session notes from my campaign, and when my players went against Agatha, Agatha the Banshee in Lost Mines of Phandelver is just a regular Banshee. She just has a regular ass Banshee stat block, but they talk about how great of a wizard she was when she was alive. So I gave her wizard spells. And Valley Vajira was the one who wrote up the notes for that session, but she was like, and the entire party ran away in a straight line, so all of us got lightning bolt. And I was like, that's true. I don't know why you all ran in a straight line.
Go.
Because players don't have tactics.
It's true.
They don't. They truly don't.
They have something else.
It sure the fuck ain't tactics.
They have. Well, I don't know. What should we do?
Yeah,
That's what they have.
That's 100% what they have.
I don't know. What should we do? What do you think we should do?
If you were us, what would you do right now? I had a player ask me that once. Well, what would you do in my situation?
Say, I guess I'd fucking lay down on the floor and put my thumb in my butt.
Right. Like, oh, I'd be like, this is it.
This is it.
I wouldn't have gotten myself into the situation, you fool.
That's the thing that we want to tell them. It's like, hey, I would have thought, because there are certain things. Not to even like go back to what we were talking about a couple weeks ago, but like again, there are certain things that when I, the DM, tell you, the player, I'm not saying it because I think it sounds cool. I'm telling you this because there is a non-zero chance it is important. Yes, the whole place seems like it's very creaky, and the sound of rushing water can be heard behind the walls. Huh. Then don't be surprised if it floods. It's all that stuff.
Don't be surprised is a good one too, because it's like we try this and then we try it again and then we tried again. It didn't work. Well, we tried everything.
Yeah. Trying the same thing over.
You tried the same thing 4 times.
Not the same.
You just because you decide you like the solution to be that does not mean.
Yeah. That's a hard one to get players to understand sometimes. Like, I'm 100% willing to work with you on a solution that maybe I didn't think of, because obviously I'm not going to think of everything. But sometimes you pick the wrong thing, and even if you stick with it, it's still going to be the wrong thing.
Yeah.
You know, this is worth. Oh, sorry, go on.
I think that's something that happens a lot in 5e, where people feel like, well, if I came up with it, it has to work.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's rule of cool, there's also like things in the world that no, like not the first thing you come up with is not necessarily going to be the right thing.
It's true.
I fully fucking agree with what you're saying. But I do want to get into. Actually, I don't want to get into how I think there's a larger discussion to be had here about actually what game everyone thinks we're playing. And I mean this like 100%. I think like there's not an assumption about challenge. Like they say like session 0, tell everyone if like is there going to be the risk of death in your campaign? Let everyone know up front. Like you got to like for some people tell them there's going to be challenge. Because that's not assumed. And it's so funny because I think there's like a rose tinted glasses situation where people like watch their favorite streamed game or something and they see all the like story that comes out of it and they think that maybe rightfully so, maybe wrongfully so, that it was considered story first and not that the things that ended up happening were the story. And so they sort of drive forward these ideas that they're going to have a certain story and get upset when they don't turn out a certain way. When in reality, you know, let's take just say Critical Role, for instance. They all got there to play the game and it unfolded the way it did and they all ran with it and it became the story it became, right?
Mm.
And it's not necessarily something planned ahead. And that's another thing for session 0 too. Let everyone know we're not planning the story ahead, because there's a certain type of person that doesn't understand that that's D&D, or that that's not D&D.
Mm.
These are all things, these assumptions that we make about the game, or assumptions we've created, or expectations we have, and they're different because we're DMs or GMs or referees or whatever, versus your average fucking player who likes Stranger Things and wants to play D&D and that's it. You know, they might not know what it is, what the game actually is. And every table is different. Are you going to have challenge? Are you maybe every time I have a game, I have to let people know we're going to have so much fucking challenge in my game that you're going to fail fucking everything until you don't. Are you okay with that? You know, that's not everyone's game.
And I think a lot of people think that story just happens in D&D, and they don't put the effort into developing their backstory. Or even if you don't develop it ahead of time, just taking the leap in the middle of a situation and going, this is a thing like from my life or something, like that you have to go out on a limb and you have to make that story happen. It's not all on the DM, and it's not just going to happen without you putting your character out there.
I agree. I agree so much. The best backstory from a player, and I think I've seen this somewhere else, so you're hitting this like nail on the head that I've seen other people hit on the head too, and maybe it's from the same place or maybe it's organic, but it's great. That like honestly, if you have a backstory for your character, don't leave it up to your fucking referee to weave it in. Say, well, I'm thinking about this because it's part of my backstory. Is any of that here? Just say.
Or literally, if you say it, if you introduce your character as, oh yeah, my guy came from a farm, my dad raised sheep, and I was a sheep herder, and you literally get somewhere, and it might call for you trying to herd some kind of creature, that you absolutely can say, hey, because my character was a sheep herder before he was an adventurer, could I try such and such an ability or action, so on and so forth? Yes. Yes, you totally just tied that random thing from your backstory into something that's happening platonically. Go for it. Go for it. That's a great use of your backstory.
Yeah.
Don't tell me though that because I said the word elf, I now have to create the Omega Elf King that you escaped from in the 12th. You are level 1.
Yeah.
You did not. If you escaped from the Elf King, the evil Shadow King of elves, you did that as a child, and he has no qualms with you. You are not that.
There's also, you know, the style of referee that wants to fucking wade into the water with you and be like, send me your backstory and I'll send you back all the proper names of all the people you came up, you know, because you know, there is that type of referee. I'm not that type
And
of
hat
referee.
off to you. Hat off
But
to you. I tried to be.
yeah, but I think both types of referee will always just fucking hit that ball right back to you. Like that's what they're fucking waiting for on how they want you to engage with your backstory in their world. They want you to go, well, I do this. Is that going on around it? Is that relevant to the situation? And they might say no, but they want to say yes.
Yeah.
You know, like do that. That's how you
was-
should. And the more you do that, the more they'll fucking remember and throw it out there for you.
I was laughing before because I was like, yo, even if you're wrong, say that thing. Because, like, in our campaign, Jack DT can't read a map in real life. He doesn't know the difference between east and west. So he was like, yeah,
Just say,
I'm from the west. And we were like, the ocean? And he goes, oh, no, I'm from the east, here. And he just happened to point on the map to, like, right next to where one of our other characters is from. And we've been tying that together ever since.
Yeah. Yep.
Sorry, you. I I do love turning a character's. Well, I just said this. Oh, did you? Well, guess what? It's canon now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And like exactly what you said, you don't have to think about it. Just make it up on the go if nobody has said anything. The Laundry King, his character's backstory, nobody prompted him for this. They were just like sharing in a group, and he was like, "Well, I escaped my homeland when my uncle usurped the throne." He's a Goliath, so he had never seen any Critical Role anything, and he gave himself Grog Strongjoe's backstory, just like completely improv it in the moment. And me and Valley Vajira are just staring at each other like, what the fuck is happening? He's never consumed that content before. But now he's Grog Strongjaw, but not.
It just made
about
sense for it.
Mm-hmm. Tell us about it. We want to help you. It's a collaborative storytelling game. The more info we have, I mean, yes, the higher the chances that we hurt you emotionally, but
But also, like, yeah, I feel like a lot of the time people will, and I have done this, will give their DM like one thing where they're like, this traumatic thing happened in my life. My husband was murdered. I'm looking for the killer.
Mm.
Like, I don't know, like, what happened to him. Nobody believes he was, like, killed. They think it was an accident. Do with that what you will.
Mm.
But, like, that is good for one big ooh moment. That is not your entire backstory. You need more.
But you know what that player expects you to do? They expect you to tie the killer into some grand scheme, tied into the overarching story that you've written. Because it's not that they were just the killer. It's that the killer was hired to specifically kill your husband, to specifically get at you because the big bad of this campaign knew you, and specifically you were going to be a threat. Because each player does want to feel like when you discover a bad guy, not that the bad guy hates you because you keep foiling their plans and you were nobodies to him initially, but that you were always somebody. You want to show up and the bad guy to be like, ah, you again. Not like, these people are here. What are they doing here? Or, that's inconveniencing to me.
It's really funny you say this because I had a theory about the Greek game that we played, the campaign, that it was sort of easy mode training wheels story wise. Maybe that's the wrong phrases to use, but there was a prophecy from the fucking get go. You guys are the heroes. You either save the world or it gets destroyed. Something like that, right? So you know that you're part of these things from the fucking rip. It sort of makes a lot of it easier because if you're playing, one of these like incidental hero type games, but every character is actually a prophesized person or like a VIP in the world. You know what I mean? Like the spotlight is always on fucking, I don't know, someone, whoever they are. It's like, that is a style of, or that is a genre of fantasy that isn't every genre of fantasy,
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So it's like making kind of tonal decision.
Yeah, I think it also, because especially like, I don't want to say too much because I know, Okami, you're playing it right now as well. You're currently in it. So, but I will say that like there is a certain knowledge from that campaign, the Dragon Lords campaign, of knowing that you were the hero already with the prophecies and everything like that, that kind of makes you go, okay, I can't turn away from this problem because I have to do the heroic thing. It kind of puts you in a spot where it's just like one of our bigger battles, which we kind of, I think, really slapped everything we had together to pull off. It took a lot of use of hiding in buildings and using we used every mechanic to our advantage, but it was because we were outnumbered on this island. That's the best way. That's all I'm going to say about it. and we couldn't give up because I think in all our heads we were like, shit, we got to do the heroic thing. But we don't have but so much to do. We can only do but so many things. How do we make this heroic shit happen? And we kept slapping stuff together till it worked. You know what I mean? I think there is some fun to be had there, and it's a different kind of narrative push. Because you have to fulfill that heroic status. If you don't, well, then the nature of the campaign kind of falls apart, or changes into something different because now you're not living up to the prophecy.
Yeah, and then it becomes its own sort of other story. But that's a more emergent story than the prophesized heroes completing the prophecy.
True.
When you said training wheels, I was like, that makes so much sense, like to call it that way, because like those kind of stories are the easiest ones for the DMs to go through, like storyline wise. Sure, you're gonna have to do other stuff along the way, but like if it's already, you don't have any reason to try and tie these characters together. They're already tied together in some way. Like I wouldn't call it the major work, but like a lot of the groundwork is already done for you.
Yeah, and like when, you know, they don't sort of meet any rivals from any sort of other reasons. They gain rivals from this like main sort of thing that is what is happening. And the side quests all sort of serve into the main quest. They're not, I'm going to go on a side quest to do something completely fucking unrelated to anything. There's nothing unrelated to anything. You know what I mean? It's all sort of funneling into one thing, which was in my, like, if you can do this with anything, it doesn't have to be the Greek game. If you play that sort of game, if you play a system that supports those sort of stories, then, and you know, there's an argument to be made that system doesn't matter, but whatever. Then you can just add a prophecy in and you'll have a grand old fucking time. That's my theory. Because it will sanction a lot of the kind of cheesy corniness that otherwise happens when you're like, it's your dad all the time.
Now it's your dad. And then what's Zako Yama's character's name? Am I my own dad? Because he keeps rolling so poorly on insight.
But no.
Because you can't have, you know, can't isn't the right word, but it serves a certain tone of this like heroic, epic sort of, I don't know, like, I don't want to use a like term to like a negative term, but like popcorn style story, you know what I mean?
Oh no,
like
it
just
makes sense.
action, fun, hold forward.
Pulpy.
Yeah, pulpy's good too. And then there's like, I don't know, there's like other styles of D&D. There's more than just two. There's that and a whole bunch. So, you know, it's like everything has a point and you can sort of create those styles certain ways, I think.
Yeah. I think things that also limit the setting a lot, like the kind of like magic school based settings and stuff like that, also serve that purpose, because you can have, it's like, why are we all here and why are we stuck together and why are we doing this thing is all kind of answered for you.
100%. I would love to, I know this sounds kind of sort of not in my wheelhouse, but I would love to like play in a magic school game, or any heavily themed game like that. Makes me very excited.
I'm
I feel like, what?
I am vibrating at you saying that.
Why?
My 0.5 session, I use Adventures in Academia as the 0.5 session to like teach people how to play D&D now. And it's a magic school where each of the classes is part of like a Harry Potter themed breakdown ish, and your principal's a dog. Like fantastic.
Yeah, I think I think I would like something very heavily themed that especially one that goes into board gamey, because I think procedure is like one of my favorite parts of D&D, and I run like a dungeon crawly procedure, a wilderness crawly procedure, like a camp procedure, encounter procedure, surprise procedure. Like I have procedures for everything, a checklist of how they go. And I would love a thing where it's like, okay, it's the next day. What are you guys going to do? Are you guys going to go into the dungeons of the school, or are you going to go to class and do this? And if we go to class, pick your 2 classes for the day, and then we see what happens. Like, I would love that fucking style of game. I would love that shit.
Okay.
Or I would love any other heavily themed into the mechanics style of game, where it like goes into some sort of like, yeah, especially if it goes into some sort of procedure for it. I would love that.
When you guys were talking before about how like people go into D&D thinking it's always going to be heroic fantasy and that kind of stuff, but like your table determines where it is. At like the midpoint of my campaign now, we've been like 5 years in. At the midpoint of the campaign, my players were talking, and one of them was like, "But why does our BBEG lady hate us? Like we have nothing to do with her." And I'm like, well, you foiled her every step of the way. You happened to meet her by happenstance, but now you're just intentionally getting in her way. And you've kidnapped her son. Would you not hate you in this situation?
Oh.
Consider your actions.
Yeah. They say, who's her son?
So like some people, like you said, like not only are they not expecting it, but like they don't realize that that trope is coming up either. They're like, oh, I really thought that I went into this being the hero, like the almighty hero, and doing all these great things. And I haven't been doing any of that, but I just expected it to eventually happen, kind of deal.
Mhm.
Not necessarily.
That's all for session 0. That's all for session 0. Like, you're not going to be a hero unless you do a fucking heroic thing. You're not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Some jerk with a sword.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you show up to the town and kill the witch, it's a very weird thing. But like your players show up to a town, meet a witch, the witch tries to curse them for whatever reason. They kill the witch, and then go to the town, and they just assume the town is happy with them. Why?
What if she was a nice
Well, we
witch?
killed the witch. Yeah, but we killed the witch. Who asked you to do that?
That's
That
who made our
doesn't make you a
medicine.
hero. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like, you heard witch and just immediately said combat. I've had that happen on one shot where, like, I used a term, and immediately everyone forgot theme, forgot everything, and was just like, I pull out my sword and swing. I was like, why? Like, why? Why are we swinging? Because you said that she's this. You're a vampire.
Your fault, dude. No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah.
No,
100%.
right. 100%.
When my players met a black dragon, like they knew it was a black dragon. They know it's way out of their wheelhouse, what have you. But like Grimalkin just kept insulting it to the point where even the other players at the table were like, we're not with him. If you're going to kill somebody, it's just him.
We are not condoning this.
We are actively trying to tell him to stop.